This episode is brought to you by Cartamax. Life on the front line requires you step up your game. Owned and operated by former Navy SEAL Sean Matson, Cartamax has designed just the right supplements for you and is offering American Party an exclusive offer. Buy one, get one free in your first order. Go to Cartamax.com and use the promo code American. That's Cartamax.com, helping you achieve your max.
Don't tell me what to do.
To Anthony. So as you guys see, I'm by myself, alone and unafraid. It's kind of ironic that we're talking about what we are today, because it's kind of like what Dan has done to me. He left me. I think that as you'll see on Friday, Dan's not with me either. I think Brittany's making him do this to prove a point. Like, it's kind of like a low key flex of like, he's mine.
What exactly is she doing? What do you mean? Like
keeping you away,
hanging out with her,
keeping you away from me. You know?
Oh yeah. It's such a struggle for me to hang out with my sweet, beautiful fucking girlfriend all the time.
I'm sweet.
It sucks so
too.
bad.
Look
dude.
at me, bro. Look at me.
And the other option is you. You look like
I look like what?
You look like a Ken doll if it was made by Wish.com. You know what I mean?
A Ken doll?
I got tattoos. I've been working out. I lost freaking 3% body fat. Nobody cares about your body fat. Okay, just shut up.
I don't. I mean, you love it.
I'm being supportive right now. I feel like negative reinforcement helps you get better. I talked all that shit to you before, and now you've lost body fat. I'm going to keep doing it until you're completely gone.
Yeah. I mean, I'm completely like, I just waste away. Like, after I get done with body fat, I'll start losing muscle.
I don't know how it works. I'm not a scientist. You have to ask one of them.
You're my hero, though, and I've missed you. Look, I just miss you. Okay.
Oh, thanks. I spilled Killcliff all over my shirt, but this is a nice APAC shirt. These are available at Drinking Bros. So is this new flag here, Defund Politicians. That was going to be flying on my boat next time I'm back here. We're going to Vegas tonight, though.
What are you?
Me, Ross, Fake Dan, Giorgio. We're all going to Vegas to cover the Big 3 basketball opening, and then we're going to go into the Conor McGregor fight. We're going to go drive race cars again on Saturday with Chuck Liddell. Brittany's been talking a lot of shit. She says she's going to beat everybody. She didn't even beat me last time, so I don't know why she thinks she's going to do it this time, but we'll see, right? So it's going to be a big weekend, and then I'll be back, and I'll see you on Tuesday.
Well, you better.
You'll be fine.
Well, I don't know if I will, because I'm telling you, I'm sitting here, and I don't think it's a coincidence that you're not in here. But Fake Dan came in sleeveless shirt, showing some chest hair, and I think he's trying to move into your spot. Like, I called him Fake
When
Dan.
have I ever shown up with exposed chest hair or sleeveless shirts before? What the hell are you talking about?
Dude, every time I come to your house, that's what you're sitting on your couch in.
No, I don't wear any clothes in my house. That's how I know you're lying.
And Fake Dan told me that he's not Fake Dan anymore. He is the Dan.
He's Delco Dan, I think is his name now. He's got a microphone. He can say. What is it? Is it Delco?
I'm good with Delco, Dan. I also have to wear this jersey because I lost a bet.
Oh yeah. Can you walk on screen right quick so we can see this jersey?
Yeah.
This is what you assholes keep making dumb bets with basketball jerseys for some reason. It's never going to work out for anybody, except for the audience who enjoys. There we go. He's wearing the Atlanta MLK jersey. So he's technically not wearing a sleeveless shirt. He's wearing a basketball jersey.
Well, I mean, does it have sleeves on it? So technically, he is wearing a sleeveless shirt.
Oh, God.
I mean, if we want to get technical here.
Yeah, well, we don't want to get technical, Dakota. That's the last thing we want. You know what I love is being able to see my reflection in the fucking glass behind you.
You do?
That's one of my favorite things.
Well, I'm glad. Good thing we provided that for you today.
But this flag is pretty dope, right?
Yeah, that flag is awesome.
Yeah, I like these. They're actually really nice. It's like a triple layered flag printed on both sides. It's water resistant. It's very nice.
You know, man, I just miss you.
Yeah. We need to get an American Party flag too, but like a full on the size of that flag behind you there.
Listen, I'm in.
What do you think?
I know.
I'll get it. I'll get it made.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend?
I got to go in on shift in the morning. I get off Saturday morning.
Are you going to ignore another call like you did when we were recording last Wednesday?
Well, I didn't necessarily ignore it. I couldn't go to it because I was here with you.
So that was all about flexing on me, though. I see.
Well, listen. I mean, last night. I was working until like midnight last night. Had a trailer catch on fire. It was kind of a shit show, but yeah, So I feel like I did my civic duty today, and now I'm here with you. And I'll just say this.
I called Joe Biden an old, like I told him to shut up, old man, on one of his POTUS posts on Instagram. So I feel like I've also done my civic duty.
I mean, it's not like he even remembers what he said.
Oh no, he's not typing anything. Can you imagine watching him try to type? Like if you were trying to dictate a letter to Joe Biden, somebody should make a sketch about that. Because he's what is he, 80, 78? He's typing with one finger, with T-Rex arms, with one finger each, right? And then he has to remember what you're saying as you're saying it. There's no fucking way that guy could do that.
But I mean, Bill Clinton didn't send emails either.
No, I don't think email existed back then.
Really?
Hillary Clinton sent a lot of emails.
Yeah,
but we can't find them anywhere. So who knows what happened there? No, Bill Clinton probably sent some emails.
Do you think Bill Clinton's ever sent like any nudes?
A dick pic?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
You think Bill Clinton sent a dick pic?
He put a cigar in a fat girl's pussy in the goddamn Oval Office. You telling me he didn't send a dick pic once or twice? Get the fuck out of here.
How do you know?
How do I know that he did? I mean, just common sense. Fuck, man.
Common sense, like it's just common sense that he shoved a cigar.
Yeah. No, that's the shoved cigar thing came out during the impeachment trial. That's a real thing. That's not. I'm not making that up, man.
That's not the hole you put it in if they're gonna smoke it. It's kind of weird.
Well, I guess it depends on the girl, right? And her country of origin. I've heard some weird things about Thailand, smoking cigarettes through their vagine there.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you
never seen it myself?
You've been Well, you ain't been watching porn, have you?
Was that some kind of joke?
I mean, I just want to make sure.
I'm watching it right now. My camera's got it on right now over here off screen. I can't. I'm addicted, man. This is how it is.
Huh. That's so weird.
Can't be stopped.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, listen. Either way, man. I don't care what you say about me. I miss you. I do miss you, and I wish you were here with me, sitting at this table where we've had so many intimate moments.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, but you're not. That's so weird. I just
you
can't
said
get
it's
over
sticky.
Shoving a cigar.
Oh yeah.
So weird. It's almost.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
It's almost as weird as gerbling.
I think gerbling is probably weirder. You're putting a live animal inside yourself.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to lose the tail. You know what I'm saying?
No, I put like a little parachute rig on that thing so I can pull it back out.
Giorgio, you ever gerbled? No, he doesn't do that. Okay.
I mean, that's probably the only thing he hasn't done. To be honest, Giorgio is a real piece of work.
Hey, people want to know, what kind of porn do you watch?
Just whatever.
Whatever.
I don't really have a type.
Yeah, he didn't really have a type. Okay.
Nothing exciting there. Sorry to disappoint. So
yeah, that's disappointing.
We're going to talk today about leaving Afghanistan, something we should have done probably in like 2002, if I had to guess. Somewhere around 2002, we should have been out of there. But here we are 20 years later. We're still there, but not for long. On Friday, July 2nd, the last U.S. soldiers left Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. The U.S. has set September 11th of this year as a deadline for withdrawing all remaining troops, effectively ending the longest war in American history. Now, you've been to Afghanistan. It's a nice place.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just, like, I hear all these people like, oh, why are we moving out, blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck this. Let's fucking leave. They don't want us to fix, like, it's almost like trying to help somebody who doesn't want to even, like, change or help themselves. It'd be like going to Kentucky, backwoods Kentucky, and trying to move somebody to the fucking city. Like,
or teach them how to read.
Or that, right?
Or get a person from Alabama to stop fucking their relatives.
Well, hold on.
Either way.
Hold on. There's nothing listen.
What are you saying? You got to finish that sentence because now I'm on the hook. There's nothing wrong with that, or there's nothing.
I mean, dude, you don't pick up chicks at your family reunion?
I don't go to family reunions.
Well, maybe that's where you have this, this view. I just don't think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the actual story here. The withdrawal is the result of an agreement between the U.S. and the Taliban, which is pretty funny, who have promised to cease hostilities towards American and NATO troops so long as the withdrawal date is met. Currently, there are still around 2,500 troops in Afghanistan, so we're not gone. There's still 2,500 people there, along with over 7,000 other NATO troops and 6,000 U.S. contractors. In a BBC interview, a Taliban spokesperson warned that any troops remaining after the agreed-upon date will face consequences. I don't know what that means, but I guess we can figure it out. As coalition forces leave, allied countries are considering closing embassies in Afghanistan due to security concerns, which means we're just going to go back to the 1990s where we have no diplomatic relationship with that country at all. Russia is probably going to reinvade at some point to try to secure the oil pipelines and rare earth minerals.
China's already on it.
Well, I mean, look, that's a partnership right there.
Yeah, so I guess China's coming in, and they did you read that about where China's going to come in? They've already got this agreement where they're putting in roads and like all this other shit. Like it makes so much sense. They're going to come in and they're going to fucking, take over and start making.
Maybe it'll work out for them. I mean, look, Chinese soldiers aren't going to stop when somebody's getting murdered in the street and try to stop it. They're just going to keep driving.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
because they do it to their own people.
Yeah. The U.S. itself is planning to leave about 650 to 1,000 troops to help secure the U.S. Embassy in the Kabul airport. So I guess maybe we're going to keep our embassy there with 650 Marines, 650 to 1,000 Marines who guard embassies.
What else do you really need in life?
Well, air support, I guess. But as the withdrawal date draws closer, some people have begun to question whether this is the right decision and what will happen to Afghanistan after it loses support from the West. Well, we know what's going to happen. It's the same thing that was happening before we got there. Warlords control different segments of the country. They have no vested interest one way or another with regard to ethics and morality, so they don't care if the Taliban takes over and reinstitutes Sharia law and all this stuff. And that's what's going to happen. Frankly, all the cities are going to get overrun by zealots again, and the hinterland out in the east and towards the Pakistan border is going to be controlled by warlords.
Bro, what's the difference in that in America? Like, it's controlled by warlords, aka politicians, in different states. I mean, look, we're just more of an organized. I mean, we're just like we're kind of like just classic trailer trash.
Well, yeah, for sure, but
especially with our politicians being so fucked up.
The difference here is that politicians are pussies, right? They only use their mouths and pens. These guys use actual guns and bombs.
Well, true.
So, and the other difference is, I guess that is the big difference, that the Taliban and authoritarianism in general can only exist when the threat of violence is real, unless you're a bunch of fucking idiots, which is what we are, because there's no real threat of violence from the government. You all of you are,
no,
in
for
some
sure,
cases, are or were soldiers or troops of some sort, or people who are. What do you think? You and your buddies are going to start showing up to enforce fucking mask mandates and vaccinations and shit? It's not going to happen, man.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, no, for sure. I mean, obviously, look, that was an extreme comparison, but what my point to it is take the violence piece out of it. I mean, it's no different.
No, the governments are full of shit. I'll say that I prefer to be here than there, I guess, right? I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. Even as fucked up as we are, we're the best of a lot of bad options right now.
Oh, we are. Listen, we are the greatest country on the face of the planet. Look, my opinion is we should have left Afghanistan. This has been like one of those relationships, you get into it and it's really fucking toxic and you should leave. But you just keep trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Afghanistan's been for since after, we invaded.
Well, I mean, it's been like, yeah, I guess it's been like that for a long time since we first trained the Mujahideen and provided them with all those weapons. Anyways,
I realized it when there was really no, I don't know. I guess I didn't really realize it till I got home. But like when I look back and I think about like the bases that we built and now the Taliban have them. When I think about like when we went in the day, you know, like when I think about like my teammates dying in Afghanistan, and then like we fought to keep that ground, right? Like we fought to take that valley over. And then we just fucking left and everybody moved back in like the next day.
Yeah.
That was the point where I really had to question, why the fuck are we here? Like if we're not gonna, if we're not clearing ground to take it and keep it, then why the fuck are we doing it?
Yeah, that's a really good. It's a really good microcosm that illustrates the problem at large, which is that what a lot of people said before this or Iraq kicked off. If you're not willing to be there for a long time, maybe forever, like we were in Europe, then it's not going to work, right? If you give these people a deadline, they're not working off a 25 or 50 or 100-year plan. They're working off a generational plan. These people still have an extreme dedication to their own legacy and to, in some cases, the proliferation of Islam in general. They care about 1,000 years from now, not 25 or 50 or 100. So the idea that you're going to come in and occupy that land for a couple of dozen years, they don't give two fucks about that shit. I mean, they're going to fight you the whole time, but that's not going to stop them. And as soon as you give them a withdrawal date, they're going to just wait and then come back and take that shit back over again. Now, that doesn't mean that we should stay there forever. It means we should have figured that out in the very fucking beginning and never gone there in the first place. Not with conventional forces anyways.
For sure.
It's a huge mistake by the U.S. government, but we make a lot of huge mistakes. We're like Joe Bluth in that regard.
Well, it was an emotional mistake.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Operation Anaconda kicked off that Afghan conflict for us. And we had the ability to completely sever the head off the Taliban snake and wipe those people off the face of the earth within just a couple of months using special operations forces. And for whatever reason, we decided that we were going to go install a government over there. When I say whatever reason, obviously I'm joking. The reason was money. The reason was Dick Cheney and all his cunt friends wanted to make money. That's it. That's all it ever is. And that piece of shit Donald Rumsfeld that's been a war hawk his whole life. Rest in peace, I guess. It's always the money, man. It never varies from that. People are motivated by money and power.
That's it.
And that's pretty much the end of it. Let's see. All right. So since we're talking about this, I want to talk about some of the results of the war in Afghanistan. Whatever the fuck. What was it called? Enduring Freedom or some shit? Was that the final name? I don't know if they...
Whoa. Operation Enduring Freedom.
Yeah. Oof. So the Afghanistan War started on October 7th, 2001, just under a month after the September 11th attacks, and this was obviously in retaliation. If America meets the withdrawal date, it'll be like, what, 20 some days short of 20 years that we were there. To date, over 3,500 coalition troops have been killed in combat and more than 22,000 wounded. 4,000 contractors have been killed. So more contractors have been killed than active troops. And over 15,000 of them wounded. The Afghan security forces have lost more than 65,000 troops since the war started. And although the Taliban hasn't released any official numbers, it is estimated that over 55,000 Taliban fighters have been killed since 2001. It's a lot.
So we lost.
We lost before we even got there, to be honest, because we didn't have a fucking plan. Our plan was to see what happens and then shift. No, you go in with a purpose and you achieve the purpose and then you leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we never had a purpose.
No. So more than 2,000 members of Al Qaeda were killed. Again, no official death toll was given by them, but that's the estimate. Since 2001, an estimated 47,245 Afghan civilians have died as a result of the fighting. Altogether, the war claimed more than 212,000 lives. for nothing, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of nuts, right? I mean, especially like the number that gets me, and I don't believe this Afghan civilians number. I mean, what are you classifying a civilian? Like, the goat herder that was fucking trying to blow us up? Like what do we claim as civilian? Because I mean, you look at this, like it looks like there's almost as many Afghan civilians that died as there are Taliban.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be surprising though, to be honest.
Either way, like the 212,000 lives is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm just doing some math right now. So, according to the Associated Press, the latest 2020 report, this is from last year actually, the war in Afghanistan has cost the U.S. so far $815 billion, almost $1 trillion. It's probably closer to 9 at this point, since this was taken from last year. 212,000 lives divided by that is $3.85 million per person. So that's what a human life is worth to Dick Cheney, to KBR, to Northrop Grumman, to all these assholes, right?
Yeah.
That's what one human life is worth. I guess if you can make that kind of money, it's fine for people to fucking die for no apparent reason.
Dude, it's a good business.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is. 2.7 million Afghan civilians were displaced during the conflict, which forced them to flee to places such as Iran, Pakistan, Europe, etc. 4 million Afghan civilians were internally displaced after losing their homes from having them stolen by the Taliban or destroyed in fighting or whatever the hell. Okay, so I was a little bit off on that. The general operating cost of the war has been $815.7 billion so far, but the U.S. has spent about $2.26 trillion on expenses associated with the war.
Yeah, I mean, and look at all the shit we're leaving over. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy the fucking money that has gone into this. And I mean, and these numbers aren't even, let's talk about the PTSD and like the taking care of the people who got fucked up over there. Right?
We spent 10% of our annual GDP over the last 20 years. Well, not over the last, so over the last 20 years, we've spent a year's worth, 10% of a year's worth of our GDP. So this whole idea that we can't afford education and we can't afford good healthcare for everybody and all that stuff, simply not true. Yeah. We could afford it if old white assholes in the military industrial complex weren't moving political pieces behind the scenes to drum up wars that need not exist so people can die for their fucking profit. That's what happens here.
Well, at least John McCain's gone, so he can't be starting any more wars.
Yeah, well, he would if he was here.
For sure.
That. $143 billion of those dollars were spent on rebuilding Afghan infrastructure and government. So basically, we spent $143 billion on facilities for the Taliban.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Taliban. You're welcome. That's food out of your fucking kids' mouths. That's tax dollars out of your fucking pocket. They went to build buildings for the fucking Taliban.
$88 billion spent on training and equipment for the Afghan military. You're welcome, Taliban, because now guess who gets all that equipment? $
9 billion was spent on deterring Afghans from cultivating poppies and selling heroin. I don't give a fuck if Afghanistan sells heroin. How could that possibly be any of our business? Jesus fucking Christ, man.
We can't even stop it in our own country.
No, the U.S. has paid $530 billion in interest from loans used to fund the war. Oh. So we're not even done paying for this goddamn thing yet. Even if we leave today, we're still not done.
This is probably the only thing worse than credit card debt.
I got to do some math here.
Where did we get the loan from? China?
We borrow it from ourselves, typically.
But shit, we're in debt too.
Yeah.
Just borrow money on borrowed money.
1, 2, 3. I'm just doing more math here. I'm seeing what our fucking APR is on this fucking loan. That's not good, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we probably didn't get a good rate, did we?
No, we never do, right?
Amazing how that works.
All right, almost there. And release. All right. That's about a 23.5% rate we're paying on that amount. Man, that seems like a lot. Seems like a lot of money to be spending on nothing, guys. I mean, you may as well just throw this money into a furnace. I would rather that have happened than have these old assholes have it, to be honest. At least 296 billion so far has gone towards the care for veterans after the fact. So we've spent twice as much money on interest for the loans it took for the war than we have on the veterans who fought the goddamn thing. Thank you, America. That's great. We really fucking appreciate it, guys. You're just doing such a great job at taking care of people, which is, by the way, your only fucking job to do.
That is nuts.
Man, not even twice as much. They spent half as much on building buildings for the fucking Taliban as they did on taking care of vets. I mean, how is that even possible?
That's crazy.
How is it even possible when people are dying, waiting online in a Phoenix fucking VA? How is that possible?
Well, since 2001, the life expectancy in Afghanistan has increased from 56 to 64. So we raised it by 8 years.
Sweet. Let me be real clear about this. I don't give a fuck about Afghanistan. I'll say that one more time. I don't give a fuck about Afghanistan. Figure your shit out. And if you can't, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we should be going in countries that don't want to figure it out, right? Like if they don't have a plan to figure it out and they don't need us to assist them, then we either come in and take them over. Like it's kind of like a business, right? We either come in, like if we're going there, we're either taking them over or we're assisting them. But there's no more of this doing it for them.
No, we can't. I mean, it never works anyway, so what's the fucking point?
Exactly.
Yeah, so maternal mortality rates have dropped by over 50%.
That just means that there's going to be more fucking Taliban created.
Literacy rates have increased by 8%. Only 8% in 20 years?
Yeah. Wow.
Really? I guess they don't really like books. The number of Afghans with access to clean water drastically increased from 16% to 89%.
That's good.
That will go away as soon as we're gone.
Yeah.
The water is a commodity and a resource, and as soon as the Taliban's in charge, they will fucking ration it off and use it for fucking their own profit. So no one really cares about that. Child marriage has declined by 17%. That's odd. I mean, all right. The number of girls enrolled in school has doubled. Partially thanks to organizations like Combat Flip-Flops. If you don't know who they are, we're not affiliated with them in any way, but they use rubber and leather and other stuff, shell casings in some cases, from combat zones to make flip-flops, and a portion of the proceeds go to build schools for little girls in Afghanistan. So if you don't know about them, now you do. More women have entered college and served in parliament, but that's kind of a, I don't know, that doesn't really say anything. So, you know, it's the cost of this shit and lives is what matters most to me. But it does give you some kind of sense of what your value as a human being is, or as a soldier, Marine, or airman, or seaman, or fucking coastie, or whatever fucking branch of whatever military you're in. Have no delusion. When you say you're fighting for your country, you're fighting for the ideals that your country represents, not these people. And the reason I say that is because if you don't frame it that way, if you don't believe that, then you'll stop believing in your country altogether. I think we've all been at that point at some point in our lives. I mean, I hate to quote fucking Rambo, but when the colonel asked him what he wanted, he said, "I want what every other vet wants. I want my country to love me as much as I loved it." And you can see, I mean, it's easy to say I don't feel loved, but when you look at the data that shows that more money's been spent on interest for loans borrowed to fund the war, loans that were used to pay companies like KBR, fucking Halliburton, etc., when double that amount was spent on them than was spent on taking care of you when you got back, that's good data. That's a good data point that shows they don't give two fucks about you.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. I literally know a guy that has had multiple surgeries from getting blown up. He had a feeding tube in, and he was like he would have to, like, I guess they use like some like Pedialyte or something like to feed through the feeding tube. And the type that he needed, he had to keep waiting on approval from the VA to get them to cover it. It's like, look, the reality of it is this. The reality of it is for the people who serve this country, like the only people who give a fuck about you are the people who served with you.
Right.
We're our own community. It's kind of like we are and I say this a lot, but we're the garbage men of the world. And, people only notice us if we're not there whenever whenever the shit's left that they don't want to deal with. And that's kind of like what we are. And to think that anybody really sits down and appreciates what we do or appreciates what we go through, the government for sure doesn't. We are nothing but a number. We are nothing but these are the facts of it. The only people who take care of us are the people who have been us and who found a way to be successful. It's veterans and first responders taking care of veterans and first responders. And that's what it is. And that's why it's so important for us to go out and make a huge impact and get in positions to where we can go back and help each other. Because again, if you look at the stats and the numbers, we're not fighting. We're not fighting. We're fighting for like you said, the idea of our country. We're not fighting for there's always, we're just fucking pawns for them.
Yeah. When I remember I was in the year that Jared and I got back from the surge, later that year is when Obama got elected, and a lot of people were, but he's anti-war, he's this, he's whatever the fuck. I'm like, I don't give two fucks who the president is, man. Like, yeah, it's a commander in chief, and I'll fucking salute him if he walks by, but I don't need to meet that person. I don't give two fucks about that guy, because that doesn't represent anything about what America's about. And I don't mean Obama specifically. Trump certainly didn't either, and neither does this fucking clown that we have in office now. These people are all fucking cunts, and it says so right here. You know what I mean? This is what you said about how we have to do something, right, or make a difference after your what you call your service is absolutely true. We're in a point now where maybe more so than ever before. There's a toxicity to the political discourse, and it's not because people are mad at each other necessarily. It's because they're being pitted against one another constantly, without fucking any kind of break. Like if you're part of one of these political classes, if you accidentally agree with somebody on the other side, you get lit up by your own side, even if it's demonstrably correct. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the time is gone where you can just be that garbage man, where you can be the quiet professional and all this other stuff. That shit's over, man. If you want this country to survive, if you loved it enough to go fight for it, you damn sure better be ready to speak up for it, because right now there's not a whole lot of people doing it.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's just the facts of life.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else is the facts of life.
What, ghost bed?
The best bed in the world.
Yeah, ghost bed's pretty dope.
Is ghost bed.
I mean, if you like beds, I'm a pretty big fan of beds.
Yeah, I mean, me too. But you can go to ghostbed.com, go check out. They have 30% off. They're doing the sale. I think it's site-wide still, the 4th of July sale, still running. Get 2 free cooling pillowcases with any but I think it was with the purchase, right? With a ghost bed with the bed purchase. They've got I go back. Dan's switching over, but I'm still with the Lux. Like the Lux is like the cooling technology in it. I talk about this all the time. I get so hot when I sleep, especially right now in Texas with it being so damn hot outside. It gets so damn hot when I sleep. So I love the Lux. You go right now. They have been supporting people that support us since day one. That support all of us, that take care of us. They've been doing it since before it was cool, before it was COVID cool, I call it. Ghostbed's just an incredible company, ran by incredible people. They've always been huge supporters. And you can go right now. They have a 20-year, which still blows my mind, 20-year warranty on a bed. 20-year warranty on a bed.
Yeah, it's wild. 36-month pay-as-you-go, provided you got good credit. Even if you don't, you're still going to get a pretty good deal on their financing. You're not going to get a better bed. You're not going to get a better price for sure. And you're not going to deal with a better company that does more for the community, particularly our community.
For sure.
Than that. So go to ghostbed.com/drinking-bros and get yours today. So Colton Weisbrod says, can we talk about Raytheon's new $2 billion contract for nuclear cruise missiles pushed by SecDef, who is still on their board? Yeah, we actually did talk about that about a month and a half ago on fake news. So in January, the Defense Department said there's no way Raytheon's getting that contract. And then Lloyd Austin, former commander of the 18th Airborne Corps, and I think he came from the 82nd Airborne originally. Total cunt, by the way. I know SEAC Troxel had some things to say about him last week, but I've got some pretty cruel things to say about him because I've been around the dude. He's a piece of fucking shit. About a month and a half after he got his position as SecDef, Raytheon got a $2 billion contract. He's still on the board, by the way. And I think he still owns $500,000 in shares over there, which are probably going to be worth considerably more now that he made that happen. So yeah, that's another good little anecdote for how these people operate and where their priorities are. No surprise though. I mean, shit, this has been going on forever. How much money do you think Dick Cheney made off Iraq and Afghanistan? I mean, honestly, and now Liz Cheney is out there pretending like she's some fucking moral crusader. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
If you had any real fucking integrity, Liz, you would give up all the money your fucking scumbag dad made off of my dead friends. You fucking cunt. Fuck you. God damn, I hate these fucking people.
How do you feel about Liz?
Not great.
Yeah.
I don't feel great about anybody that calls themselves politician.
Well.
So we all know the risk of withdrawal here. We'll go through some of these, and then we'll touch a bit on China. Opponents of the withdrawal, which probably include Crenshaw. Didn't he say something about this before? Or was it withdraw from Iraq or Syria? Or me and my friends know what happens when we withdraw. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Opponents of the withdrawal argue that we would be effectively handing control of Afghanistan to the Taliban. That is exactly what we're doing.
Good.
100%.
It's their problem.
But they had control before, and instead of going there and annihilating the Taliban using special operations forces, we decided to try to install a new government for 20 years, and it failed. So now we're leaving. Sorry about your bad luck. Afghan people, if you wanted a stable country, should have fought harder, frankly.
So we had to do
something.
That's what we had to do in 1776.
Yeah, you should have stopped living in fear. You should have been willing to risk everything for your fucking kids. Jesus Christ, man. A lot of people were, but clearly the vast majority weren't. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here right now. Since U.S. troops began to withdraw on May 1st, the Taliban's presence has greatly increased. Before the withdrawal began, they controlled 73 of the 421 districts in Afghanistan. Since the withdrawal, the Taliban have taken control of an additional 84, and now they have 157 out of the 421 districts. Sweet. So they're getting up to just about half of control already, and we haven't even fucking left yet.
Yeah, but I mean, what the fuck's control, right? Like, they had control anyways. When they walked into fucking village, they had fucking control. Like, let's be honest. Come on. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's
not like they had to fight for that territory. We just left. So it is what it is. Anyways, the Taliban's also contesting control of an additional 151 districts right now. which leaves only 79 remaining in the hands of the actual Afghan government, which means the Afghan government won't exist, right? So what's going to happen is warlords or religious leaders are going to raise money. They're going to outbid the Afghan government or threaten the families of soldiers or whatever it is, like they always have. Those soldiers are going to defect back over to the Taliban, and then we're going to have a standing army with modern equipment in a country right next to China and Russia, with China and Russia deeply involved in their daily politics. So basically what we did over the last 20 years was create a farm system for the Russian and Chinese militaries. Congratulations, guys. You fucking did it.
Yeah.
And you spent $2.26 trillion on it. Mm-hmm. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Why don't we blow up all the vehicles and all the shit before we leave?
We should melt it right in front of them.
100%.
We should put it all in a big pile and put thermite on top of it and then salt the earth so nothing ever grows there. Fuck that shit. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to leave it. Actually, what will really happen is
we'll probably train them on how to use it.
The same thing that happened in Lord of War. People who have the ability to or the connections to are going to go acquire that equipment and sell it. That's what's going to happen. And they're probably going to sell it to the Taliban, to be honest, because getting it out of the country is going to be difficult. Without support from the West, the Afghan military is severely outnumbered, poorly supplied with no hope of resupply, unless we're going to do that too, and demoralized because now they're an easy target for the Taliban. You don't think the Taliban's going to immediately start attacking? They didn't say anything in their agreement, by the way, about not attacking Afghans. They're just not going to attack coalition forces.
Well, I mean, and why would these districts support the government whenever the Taliban can walk in and say, look, this is what the government did to you. They promised you all this, and now they're leaving you fucking hanging. Do you want security or not?
I certainly would not if I were them. But as coalition forces withdraw, the Taliban have already been recovering weapons and equipment meant for the Afghan security forces, so they're equipping themselves already. Again, we've not even left yet. Our last official troops in Bagram left, but we still have thousands of people there.
Yeah, NATO's got a shit ton there.
Yeah. American intelligence agencies have concluded that the current Afghan government will fall to the Taliban within the next 6 months.
Well, that didn't take long. 20 years to 6 months.
Yeah.
Man, but it was all fucked up anyways. Like, let's be honest. Like, so I lived, there was 4 U.S. and 80 Afghans on a base. I was an embedded training team. So I got to see the logistical pieces of all that, right? Like I was part of, when I was there, we basically did the changeover from their Soviet weapons to the NATO weapons. You know, we did all the training and built them up on that. You know, my job was to advise them. And I mean, like it was something like, I'll tell you this, some of the guys, I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for some of my Afghans. I mean,
Yeah, well, I know some exceptional Afghan soldiers, including Mohammed Wali Taslim, who works over Black Rifle. I'm sure if you haven't seen it's Who We Are segment from 2018, I believe. Look on Black Rifle's YouTube channel, you can find it. He was the commander of Afghan Special Forces, right? Worked with Special Activities Division, worked with the agency for years. He and his buddies murdered quite a few Taliban, right?
Yeah.
But you know,
so like,
enough.
I mean, I lived on a base with these guys, and like their pay, I mean, just everything, all the way down to the pay for them was it like for every hand that the pay went through, somebody was taking their skim off of it. And it was fucking nuts. Like just the fuel, like they had their own fuel and their own like they had to try to set up their own logistic stuff. Like we would have to go with them and escort the fuel, because if not, they would sell the fuel on the way back to base, on the way up, just to be able to get money. And then they'd show up and they're like, oh, our tank's empty. You know, it's like, where the fuck's your fuel?
It's a problem when you can't incentivize people to take care of their own country, right? But I mean, in their eyes, they're taking care of their own family, right? I don't think the U.S. is going to stay here. I think this is going to get all fucked up. I think the Taliban is going to take over again anyway, so I'm going to get as much money for me and my family right now as I can.
When they weren't wrong.
That's not an attitude that I can disagree with on a factual basis, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's one that we should have anticipated, and we certainly shouldn't have doubled down in Iraq and did the exact same goddamn thing, man. It doesn't make any sense unless you just follow the money. Then it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because these fuck faces of these contracting companies and all these military industrial complex companies, they don't care about what happens to Afghan soldiers. They don't care about what happens to their own soldiers. You know what I mean? They don't care if that country exists in 25 years, or if they set the conditions where they have to fight another war in 20 years. That's just more money for them because they're the only people that can do it. They've created a system that can only be leveraged by themselves. You know what I mean? That's a pretty good fucking system for them. The commander of U.S. troops in Afghanistan, General Austin Miller, said recently that Afghanistan is probably going to have a civil war here pretty soon. I mean, look, if the government's going to collapse within 6 months, the civil war is coming in too, right?
Yeah.
So, Roya Rahmani, the Afghan ambassador to the United States, stated in an interview that she's concerned for the future of women's rights in Afghanistan should the Taliban return to power.
Of course.
That's their women's schools are done. They'll blow them all up as soon as they get a chance. Women caught dry. And look, it's a good thing that our fucking COVID relief bill had $15 million for gender studies in Afghanistan, guys. That was money well spent.
Well spent.
Great fucking job. Jesus fucking Christ. It's like it's the craziest person you know. And you just give them your checkbook and say, hey, you know what, man, I trust you.
It's like right next to sending a pile of cash to Iran.
Yeah. Well, we did that too. So
yeah.
Senator Lindsey Graham, who is a giant piece of shit as well, said he is concerned Afghanistan will become a haven for terrorist groups putting America at risk for future attacks. Look, that'd be nothing new there, Lady G. Definitely would be nothing new. They've been like that for a long time. And Lindsey Graham's made quite a bit of money off the military-industrial complex as well. So, of course, he's going to fight for this war. Of course he is.
Yeah. They all have. I mean, they all have. Like, you know, it's. I mean,
it makes you wonder. It makes me wonder about Crenshaw. It makes me wonder what his motivation is. Like, did he just love war that much, or is he afraid that as a Texan and a veteran, he's going to seem weak if he doesn't support continuing wars? Because he knows the damage that's going on over there, and he's not a stupid man. He understands that there's no way to win that fight.
I mean, I think the big problem though is like, look, I think people, like, let's give the benefit of the doubt. Like, these people go up, and I think that our politicians are in a fucking vortex. You talk about the biggest vortex there is, what's up in D.C., right? And they get up there and they kind of just sit around and they believe their own fucking bullshit, and they forget about, you know, what it's like, and they drink their own Kool-Aid, and they get in, they're smarter than everybody, and they're you know, they're represented, you know, they're trustees, not representatives. I mean, like, they get in, they're fucking better than everybody. Like, their egos just get so big, and they're all around each other just coming up with this bullshit. And I think that, like, that's what happens, that they forget reality and common sense logic to how to make decisions on this shit. I mean, I think they get around each other. You're like, oh yeah, you know, we can't leave because this. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, really, give me one reason why we should not leave Afghanistan. Let's fucking hear it.
I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear a good one.
Anybody.
I mean, his reasoning for withdrawing or not withdrawing from other places before was that, quote unquote, me and my friends ... know the risk of having these terrorist safe havens and blah blah blah. That's fine, man. That's fine. Special Operation Forces can handle that. We don't need fucking 130,000 troops deployed to a country ever again. That's just unnecessary.
I mean,
it's unnecessary.
Again.
Yeah.
Like, you're even like, look, let me ask you this. How much terrorism has failed since we killed Osama bin Laden?
It never goes away. It just goes to different places.
They've got just as many motherfuckers in their own organization trying to kill them and off them as they do us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we've had like the San Bernardino shootings with that dude and his wife, who was Saudi. That was a jihadist terrorist event. We have the fucking Pulse nightclub shooting, which is a fucking Islamic radical asshole. Like, I don't know. 3,000 people died on 9/11. I don't know how many have died in terrorist events since bin Laden was killed in 2011, but I'm guessing that more were killed then or since bin Laden's been dead than between 9/11 and bin Laden's death. I would say there's absolutely no question that more people have died in terrorist events since then.
Yeah, I mean, look, ISIS has rose. I mean, let's go down the whole fucking list, right? Like, it's just, I mean, look at Africa, right? No, like that's a beast that nobody's talking about right now. Like nobody, like let's hear about what's going on in Africa, you know? It's just all these things. And it's like, why are we there? And it's just like this borders. It's just like the border crisis, right? Or whatever you want to call it, the border issue. The only motherfuckers that don't want to fix these problems are the ones who are making the most money off of it.
Right. So I found a good chart here on Statista.com. So 2006, this is global terrorism deaths. 2006, it was 20,487. 2007, 22,719. And then 2009, 10, 11, it was 15,000, 13,000, and 12,500 respectively. 2012 dropped to 11,000. And since then, 2013, 18,000. 2014, 32,000. 2015, 29,000. 2016, 25,500. 2017, 18.75 thousand. 2018, 32.8 thousand. And 2019, 25,000. So the number of people killed in terrorist events globally has skyrocketed since bin Laden's been killed. So what was the point? You know, not to take anything away from Rob, I'm really glad he got the chance to shoot that guy in the face.
Oh, the guy deserved it.
We're about making impacts here. Like, if you're gonna go out there and fucking exercise your most precious resource, which is your people, right? And the people that have the grit and quality of character to go fight for their country when it's necessary. We're gonna use those people. You better damn sure make sure it's worth it.
I looked for the U.S. stats real quick. Between 2002 and 2019, it was 104 people killed by jihadists in the United States.
So that doesn't count 55 people at Pulse or 53 people at Pulse nightclub or whatever it was, because
no, it does.
However many.
Pulse was 2016.
Okay, and when was San Bernardino?
That was
2014,
like,
I think.
Yeah.
Global terrorism's on the rise. And, you know, we think of acts of terrorism in the United States as something that happened 20 years ago. Clearly, that's not the case, right? Within the last 10 years, we've lost over 100 people.
The Colorado nightclub or not Colorado grocery store shooting would be the most recent one.
Yep. Yeah, we continue to lose people. We have to have effective strategies. There's no solution to terrorism that isn't commensurate with a solution to crime, because terrorism is crime. That's all it is.
And I just want to go back
to just a different kind of crime.
I don't even care about the whole fight and blah, blah, blah. It's the fucking money. Do you not think that we could spend that money? This is what's crazy. That's where these fucking idiots that lead our country think the best value we can spend our money on, the best place, that's what they feel like is in the best interest of our country.
Well, no, they don't care about the best interest of the country, man.
Well,
they care about making themselves and their friends money. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about anything else. And here's how you know that that's the case, by the way. China is now getting involved in Afghanistan for a number of reasons. They're preparing now to ramp up their involvement once the U.S. is completely gone. They've been pretty vocal in recent weeks, actually talking shit to America for pulling out their troops, which is interesting. You would think they would just shut up and let it happen if they're planning something big, but...
Here you go. New York Post states, China ramping up Afghanistan involvement amid U.S. withdrawal.
Yeah. So Kabul authorities, by Kabul authorities, they mean the Afghan government, is now in negotiations with China to come in and build infrastructure and secure their country. So now China's going to go into Afghanistan. By the way, good luck, China. I mean, maybe some kind of brutal tactic will work on them. I don't think so, though, because the Russians were just flying Hind helicopters around, lighting people up from the sky. You know what I mean? For fucking like 15 years. They decimated that country. There's 3 to 5 million people at an Afghan refugee camp on the other side of the Pakistan border for years. I think there's still some people there.
What's going to tell us everything is if the fighting stops and China can be successful at this, then you know who has been putting all this on. the entire time.
Right. I mean, look, it would be no surprise. You know, one of the first things we started to find when we were in Iraq was night vision and other kind of not weapons specifically, but accessories to weapons and other kind of gear that came directly out of Russia. That was no surprise. We expected that the whole time because of their relationship with Iran. But goddamn, man, China doesn't have to play by the same rule book that the U.S. did back in the 1980s. Like, we're not worried about China's not worried about people finding out they're involved. You know what I mean? The U.S. is trying to hide it. They didn't want to push modern Americanized weapons into that country. China won't care. They'll give them whatever they want. So we'll see. It's a $1 trillion program. The Belt and Road Initiative, they're calling it. You should go look this up to see what China's up to. It's an international plan by China to build infrastructure, I think in Afghanistan and other places. So $1 trillion program. It's it focuses on hard infrastructure like airports, roads, seaports, etc. throughout Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. We're back to a Cold War. We're in a Cold War with China now. This is the phase of Cold War that we would call containment. So there's three parts of the Cold War. If you want to go research this, there's containment, which is where we started. Then there's détente, which is like a relaxation of fighting. And then there's rollback, which is where Reagan basically outspent the Russians on weapons in the Cold War. I'm sorry, in the Star Wars initiative and all kinds of other stupid shit. Anyways, we're now in the containment phase with China. And it'll be interesting to see what our politicians decide to do. Are we going to continue to fight these micro wars in South America and Africa, and maybe in the Middle East as well, to control these territories and keep communism out? The difference is now it's not pure communism. It's capitalistic Chinese communism. The state is a religion, but they mostly operate with unbridled capitalism, meaning the government controls it and there's no regulation.
Yeah.
So just think of the greediest asshole you know, the greediest human being you've ever met in your life, and then give him a gun and no consequences. And you can figure out pretty much how that's going to go. Citing a source close to the Afghan government, New York Post reported that the deal would extend $62 billion to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a flagship project which is going to connect the two areas and make them economic partners. Pakistan was for a while one of our allies in the Middle East. I guess technically it's Persia, but the ISI is one of the most corrupt intelligence agencies on earth. They fucked us up a bunch. The last part of this Chinese thing, it's beyond Cold War. It's not about ideology anymore. Back then it was about South American countries, Central American and Caribbean countries becoming influenced by communism and being armed for some kind of potential global event. In this case, it's all about batteries. It's all about China getting their hands on rare earth minerals so they can build batteries. We're still in a shortage for computer chips, for trucks, for PlayStations, for Xboxes. You can't buy a gaming system right now. You can't buy one because China won't release this shit. So again, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here and tell you how to fix this whole problem.
Let's hear it.
Go down to South America, Chile specifically, and then there's some other countries nearby that also have big reserves, but partner with the government to mine the rare earth minerals there that make batteries, lithium, etc., because they have the largest reserves in the world. And then you go to these countries, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Mexico, etc., where all of these illegal immigrants are coming from because they're fleeing violence and poverty, and you build semiconductor processor plants, and give these people hope and jobs, money, self-determinism, entrepreneurship, and we don't have a problem at the border anymore after that.
Yeah, but the problem is then they don't have to rely on us.
Why should they have to? Why should they need to?
Doesn't that empower the government?
In a way, it empowers the American consumer more so, though. If our purchasing dollars are buying our own security, then we control that, right? Right now, we're buying shit from China. We're fucking ourselves over. Like, we're taking a drug that's slowly killing us right now. And we have to stop that shit. There's no fucking way to do anything but.
I think we should just bring all our troops home, say fuck it, and protect our own country.
We could do that, but we're not going to be able to maintain any kind of technological advantage if we don't have computer chips to do it with. And the only place we can get them in this hemisphere in mass like that is South America. So I don't know why we're fucking around. Maybe that's our plan. Maybe they're going to leave Afghanistan, leave Iraq, leave Syria, leave Africa altogether.
Invade South America.
And just invade South America and take the whole fucking country over, or the whole continent over.
I mean, let's go.
Maybe.
If there's a plan.
That doesn't sound like the worst plan to me.
No.
Plus, it's really nice down there.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's not a bad plan.
What's that?
I'll see you in hell.
See ya.